Hey Tim, how you doing? Good to see you again.
You too, Scott. Good to be here.
Good. So looking forward to seeing you again at the UGM next year. So this video really is just the opportunity for you to introduce Access4 to the crowd that will be turning up at the UGM. So I guess the first question is, who are you and who are Access4?
Yeah, Access4 is a channel voice and UC provider in the ANZ region. We sell to MSPs and CSPs, so carriage service providers and managed service providers only. We don't have a direct program. Historically, we were a Broadworks provider, but we've really diversified with some additional offerings around Teams and WebEx, and recently NetSapiens, which is really driving a broader portfolio and a broader target market.
Yep. And sorry, Tim, your role in the company?
My role, managing director. I founded the business in 2016 with a bunch of guys that will be attending UGM as well, which is Stan and Saj, which is great. And together we've built the business over the last 8 years. Okay.
And what markets do you serve broadly? So customer types and I guess geographic regions.
Yeah, so we're predominantly Australia, but we expanded into New Zealand about 5 years ago. So we've got quite a good partner base over there. I talk partners because we only sell to partners. In terms of that demographic, it's the small to medium service providers that we really go after and appeal to. We have a turnkey solution, so we sort of are in that mid-range where they're looking for full connectivity to the public networks, porting, provisioning, billing, all the things that they need to make selling voice easier. And that sort of sits us in that sort of 5 to probably 150 seat MSP partner, servicing anywhere from 1 to 1,000 customer seats.
Brilliant. Okay. And I've often thought how competitive the marketplace is in Australia. What makes Access4 stand out in that busy market?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. I think there's two things. Again, we really appeal to the service provider community, and one reason is we build our own IP around SaaS. We have a proprietary OSS BSS platform. It's white label. Think of it effectively as the middleware connecting all of our best of breed technologies. But at the same time, it removes all those barriers that I talked about before. When we set about building Access4, there was a lot of roadblocks to selling voice, which was around toll fraud and revenue leakage and inability to have billing reconciliation or provisioning handsets, all the things where service providers thought voice was just too hard. So SaaSBOS really removes a lot of those barriers. So that's why we've scaled really quickly up to probably close to 400 partners over the last 7 years. And that's because they're looking for a voice and UC solution that's easy and seamless to use. I think the second one is that we've built a industry-specific channel program that really acts to empower partners to come on, understand voice, learn how to sell it, understand why recurring revenue is such an important part of their business. And they get that as part of joining our program. We don't charge for that. So that really looks to make them more successful at what they do in the voice and UC space. So I think that's the two things that really probably get us standing out in this market.
Yeah, I think, kind of removing the friction where you can in this industry is paramount to success, and certainly kind of the singular thing that helps you scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And what are you seeking to get out of the UGM this year? You obviously went, it's not your first rodeo, you went last year, but what do you want to get this year, knowing a little bit more about the event itself?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. Knowing a little bit more around the event, met some really good people and made some really good relationships last year. But I think we know a lot more this year. Know a lot more about the product, which is great. Look, we're a really innovative company, and we look to do things differently. And we're really keen to meet up with like-minded people at the UGM that have done things differently and push the barriers on voice UC and innovation across that. Really keen to get some lessons learnt from people over there that have rolled out NetSapiens and how they've scaled it. We've scaled really quickly over the last 7 years, and we want to do the same with NetSapiens, and it'd be good to get ahead of any of those problems and make sure we're scaling and building the platform for that aggressive growth that we're looking for. So yeah, really keen to share ideas, share our lessons learnt to help other people out, but take home some lessons that we can implement and make our business better.
Brilliant. And I guess finally, Tim, as well, why did you choose NetSapiens?
Yeah, so we had an existing Class 4, Class 5 product that I pointed out was Broadworks. We were looking for an alternative solution that had a more flexible license model rather than a per seat. We were looking specifically for a product that really took advantage of that PBX transition that's happening at the moment, and we felt a per seat model wasn't necessarily the one that was going to pick that up. And I think the other thing that NetSapiens did for us was a very feature-rich program, but quite well angled at that SMB market where you get a lot in it without having to do module add-ons and that sort of stuff. So, we're actively going after those PBX transitions and trying to get our partners not to use a 3CX product. And we think this is going to be the product that will really give them a multi-tenanted carrier-grade platform, but on a flexible licensing model. And that's what we're pushing this out as.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tim. I'm sure you'll have lots of people that'll reach out to you between now and October, but I look forward to seeing you in Arizona in the fall, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to getting over there and mixing it up with the other service providers. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, cheers.